So let's start. When we start any programming language, so the first is the comment. Now comments, they are used to explain the purpose of the statement, or you can even, it is used for documenting your program. So these are non-executable. Computer is not going to execute it. When I say computer will not execute it, that means that these comments, these statements will not get translated by the interpreter. Rather, they will be skipped at the time of execution. So you can write as many comments as you want in your program. Please feel free for it, but unnecessarily don't occupy space of your program using comments. So just you can write the purpose of the that program, or purpose of the group of statements, for what purpose they are going to be used, or you can write my first program on this date and so like that. But when you are writing a comment, then one thing you have to remember is that you have to put a character hash in front of your sentence. So with this hash, the compiler will come to know that this is a comment. So nothing to do, it will skip it. Now in this, we have written one statement. This is a single line comment, and then another statement is print. So executable statement will get executed. Then many a times there is a need to write multiple statements. So all the time you will have to put hash in front of your comments. And definitely it is boring now. So instead of that, Python has given us a facility that you can use either double quotes or single quote, with 3 single quotes or 3 double quotes. So here you can see in this example, 3 double quotes are being used. So you can write multi-line comments without putting anything. Just go on writing the comments and then end with the triple quote if you have started with triple quote. If with single, then you have to stop with single. Okay. So this is how we go ahead. Now, the next is, which you should know, is identifier, Python identifier. Now, what is an identifier? Identifier means identify something, right? So how do your parents identify you? By your name, right? So why do they keep our name? Because it's easy to identify, no? Otherwise, it's very difficult to identify a person if they are numbered. We give some name to them. Similarly, while using a variable or a function or a class, module, or any other object in Python, we are supposed to make an identifier. So if you are using a variable name, then you will have to think about the variable name. And using that variable name, you will store some value in it. Now, what will happen when you use this variable? Okay, later on, by talking about the variable, I will go in detail for variables. Now, let us see the rules for writing an identifier. So, we just cannot arbitrarily write an identifier. There are certain rules which are to be followed. So, it should begin with an alphabet. It begins with an alphabet, capital A to capital Z, A to Z. All are valid, and with one underscore is the only special character which is valid. You can include any number of letters, digits, or underscores in your identifier. One rule you have to remember for sure, it cannot begin with a digit, and spaces are not allowed, because we are very much habitual of putting spaces. If I'm writing like here, my name, so definitely my and then space, then name. So if you are putting a space, it will not be accepted. It will be treated as error, invalid identifier. So, and it does not accept any other character other than underscore, and it is case sensitive. So like if you are writing HELLO as an identifier and you have put it some value into it, and later on if you are trying to recall it with this HELLO, what's the difference? ये भी hello है, ये भी hello है. No, there is a difference. यहाँ capital है और यहाँ small letter है. So ये case sensitive है. This is a different identifier than this. They are not same. So you have to remember this also. And in Python, a class name will always start with a capital letter. So one thing you have to remember, that though identifiers can be written, but for a class name, you will have to start with a capital letter, and constant name, which I'll explain you later on, what is it, but it should be written in capital. Now let's see, and I request Ritika madam to please help me if they are answering correctly or not. So my name, I have written it valid, so it's a valid variable name. What about your name and why this is valid? Your name is valid, I told you. Why this is valid? Can you write in a chat? Okay, I'll tell you. So your name, this is valid because all the characters are valid. This is underscore, which is valid. Now tell me, is this valid or invalid? Underscore name. Yeah, this is valid because you can start with underscore. You can also start with a alphabet, but you cannot start with a digit. Now this college name, there is a invalid special character here, and therefore this is invalid. So only alphabetic characters, underscore, and numeric are allowed. So this special character hash is not allowed. Date of birth, I hope now you have understood. So immediately this must have came in your mind, oh, there is a space between date and of and birth, so this is invalid. Yes, it is invalid. And then why? Because spaces are not allowed. And what about 7 street? I just explained now. 7 street, 7, we are starting with a numeric. And numeric, you cannot start an identifier with a digit. And therefore, this is invalid. Now, next comes the keywords. Now, identifiers means we will give some name to objects. Now, keywords, there are keywords which are reserved words. So they are already defined and the purpose has been, the code for that is already exist, and because they are already defined inside, and therefore they are put into the category of reserved words. They carry specific meaning. So you cannot use one keyword for another purpose. They are used for designated purposes. And all the keywords are written in lowercase. So this you have to remember, that while writing keywords, you have to use lowercase. Except, true, false, and none. Now, in true, false, and none, these three are written as first capital letters. So here you can see all these are reserved words. They are written in lowercase letters, and the false, none, true. So these are written with first as a capital letter. Now you cannot use these reserved word. That is why they have been called as a reserved word. You cannot use them as a variable name or a function name or for any other identifier. So you have to remember, if it is a keyword, just skip it while writing the identifier. And if any of the keyword is used as a variable, then you are going to get a message invalid syntax. Syntax means it is the grammatical rule of a Python. Every language has its own grammatical rules. Like Hindi, English, they also have grammatical rules, right? So similarly, even the computer languages, they also follow some grammatical rules, and they are called as syntax. So if syntax error is there, then it always gives the error message like invalid syntax. Now, if statement is used to make a conditional statement, so if condition is true, then some action is performed. So one of the example I have given, this if is a keyword. Now this keyword if, where it is used in a statement where we have to take decision. So for conditional statements, we use if. So this is the purpose, designated purpose of using if statement. And how does it work? If condition is true, then some action will be performed, and if false, then some other action will be performed. Now comes variables. Variables hold a value that may change at any stage of the program. Now, variables are identifiers, but in variable category, you have to declare a variable. But for declaring the variable, like in other languages, it is compulsory to declare in order to preserve the memory spaces. But you are lucky, you are learning Python, and Python doesn't ask you to do so. Whenever it is being used, automatically it gets declared. Isn't it fabulous? So when the variable is initiated, the interpreter automatically does the declaration process. Now, how do we initialize a variable? Variable expression equals to expression oblique another variable. Now, don't be confused. Always remember, this equal to sign is not arithmetic equal to sign. This is an assignment operator. It is kept in operators category in Python and all other languages as well, but in Python also. So variable equals to expression. So whatever you have to write variable name on left hand side, and this variable will occupy memory space. So like year. Now this is our variable name. As soon as you have declared, you have initialized this in your program. Year equals to 2025. So as soon as this is initialized, automatically the memory space for year, this memory cell will be reserved for it, and this value will be kept here. Now, how this value will get assigned to year? So variable equals to expression or another variable or another constant. It can be a constant also. Here it is a constant. It can be another expression also. Later on we will see another variable. Whenever we will solve examples, there I will recall this thing, that here is the expression assigned to variable. Here is another variable assigned to variable. But here we have assigned constant to a variable. Now comes the question, why is it a variable? Because though it will remain, it's not the writing thing. I mean, putting you, while writing the variable name, you are going to change the variable name. No, variable name will remain the same, but the value stored in it, the value which you have stored here, at some later portions, at some later stage of the program, you can even write year equals to 2026 or 2024. Whatever you write, so that value which is being carried, which is being held by the variable year, will get changed, and therefore it is called as a variable. So year is a variable because it can hold a constant value, but this constant value can keep varying. Like if we set counter equals to 1, at later stage we make counter equals to 2, 3 and so on when we put it in loop. So every time when it is executed in loop and incremented by 1, the value of count will change from 1 to 2 to 2, 3. So the value which is stored in count variable is getting changed every time. So therefore, we call this as a variable. So I hope you have understood the concept of variable. And okay. Next, sorry. Let's solve a program. Let's write a program. So this is our first program. I have this you have to write. I have shared a video, so you have to just open it because lack of time. I have to complete everything. It's a huge task to cover the complete program Python, which will be required. Elective things I have chosen, which will be required in your further sessions. So you have to understand all that. So now just I am developing the concepts, right? So now we are starting with a program. A equals to 5, B equals to 10. What will happen with this? You know very well. A, one memory cell will be reserved for this and value 5 will be placed there. B will occupy another memory space there. 10 will be placed. Then the third statement. Now this is your expression wala. On left hand side, sum is the variable name. On right hand side, it is an expression which is being assigned to variable sum. Now A plus B, it will take the values from memory cell, that is 5 and 10, and then they will be added. Now you are trying to print A, So let us see what will be printed. Definitely 5 should get printed, and then print sum. So sum will be 15. So yes, it gets printed. Okay, sorry, sum is 20. So this is, make this 20. And then country name equals to India. This is another way. Now this is also a constant. India is string constant, which is assigned to country name. Now this is valid variable name because only underscore is there. And then you can print it like this. So my country will be printed as it is, being a string constant. And this variable, the value is stored in this variable, which is the value India. It is being stored in variable country.name, country underscore name. So that value India will be printed here. So this is how the program gets executed. And single print statement means it will print a single line. So simply the cursor will get shifted to next line. Now why variables should be written in lowercase and underscores? Is it a compulsory thing? No. In identifiers हमने देखा है कि कौन कौन से रूल्स हमें फॉलो करना है. And there we have learned कि हम तो A से capital Z, small a से small z तक लिख सकते हैं. Then why should we write in lowercase and with underscore? So this is snack case, which is very popular. So like total underscore sales amount is more readable than if you write, because spaces are not allowed. So you will write total sale amount, total sales amount. So instead of that, if you put underscores, then definitely the readability of your variable name increases. So that's why we should always use snake case. And why lowercase letters? Because all our keywords are written in lowercase. So while typing, it would be very difficult to manage between lowercase and uppercase. So better to, just to avoid errors, it's better to go for lowercase, and everyone by default nowadays follows the same rule, but it's not compulsory. So please keep in mind, you should know the concept very well, that it is not compulsory. Even if you are going to use uppercase letter, it will accept, it won't give you syntax error. But the problem is, every time when recalling, you have to remember that how you wrote that variable name using uppercase, lowercase, or mixed, or what. And then if you do any mistake in recalling while writing the variable name, then definitely your program will not get executed. You are going to get errors. So it is better to stick to lowercase. That's the thing. Now, next is constant. We have seen there. The constant, how are they written? The constants are also identifiers. They are similar to variables only, but the difference is that here the value is fixed. Pi is a variable, but it is a constant variable. So constant variable means, therefore they have not written here variable name. It's constant. It is called as constant only. The name of this constant I've taken as pi. And if you are assigning this value, which is the actual value of pi, then later on in the program, because you cannot change this constant value, so such type of values we can assign to a constant instead of variable. So there won't be any accident. Not that if I am writing pi as a variable and then nothing will happen. No. Later on, by accident, you can change the value. So for that purpose, it should be written only in capital letters. Okay. And that's why it is called as constant, because now you cannot change its value. So underscore with in uppercase with underscore, because the speed of light, if you write like speed of adjacent to it, then just next to this light, again the readability will hamper. So that we should not do. We should try with this. Now let us write another program. We have declared only constant here, which is pi. And let us try to calculate circumference of a circle, which all of you know very well. So we have written radius equals to 5, and you may wonder why I have written hash here. It is because this remark is being placed here that this is unitless constant. So If some unit is attached to it, you can write units here, like I have written here. 5 meter. Now, computer doesn't understand meter or units, anything it doesn't understand. It even doesn't understand what is radius. Radius is something which has occupied this particular memory cell, and there you can put this constant value. That's all. So in terms of computer, it is a memory cell which is reserved, and it can be called by the name radius, and then the value which is being placed at this memory location can be fetched. So that simple meaning is of this statement, radius equals to 5. But how will you communicate to others that it is in meter or centimeter or kilometer or what, right? So better to write a remark here. You know your problem, that you have to take radius in meters, or find the circumference of a circle of radius with radius 5 meters. You know the problem, so you are writing 5. But how do others know? So you must write hash and followed by meter. So this is also, but here you cannot use multi comments, only one single comment you can write in the same line of the statement just by putting the comment here. Sorry. Now, sir, circumference 2 pi radius. Now 2 pi r. Can I write I here, r here? No, I have to write radius because I place my value in radius variable, and this way it will calculate. Then for printing, I will explain you the meaning of f, but now you know, or even now I can tell you that whatever you write in double quotes will be printed as it is. So circumference of a circle of radius will be printed as it is. But if I want to print the value of radius, so radius is a variable. So to recall the value, the formatted string, that is f, is to be used, and then radius. So instead of radius, 5 will be printed, meters. Meters will be printed as it is. And then print f is circumference meter. So the circumference of a circle of radius 5 meters is, now where you have calculated circumference in this formula, and to store this value of your formula 2 pi radius, you have used another variable, that is circumference, and the calculation will be done. This expression will be evaluated and the result will be assigned to circumference. And then this final value of circumference will be printed here. So you have to write formatted string if you want to print the values which are being already stored in your variables. Now, till now I have explained you in depth. Then let us go for one more example. Now you are familiar with everything. I have used this instead of, what could I have used? I could have used the multi-comment triple quote ending with triple quote. Purposely, I use this so that you can see that every time I had to put hash here. Now print circumference of a circle meter. Okay. Same example. Then in this example, calculate the time it takes for an object to fall from a certain height. Okay, you have taken one object and you want to calculate the time the object takes to fall from a certain height, and height is 100 meters. Okay, so height equals to 100. Height is your variable. 100 is being assigned to this. Meters is the unit, and you will use the formula. You are aware of it. So T equals to square root of 2 into height divided by gravity. So use that formula. So this is just comment, and now we are using formula. Actually, formula we are using here. So fall time equals to, write down that formula, and for square root to raise to 1 by 2. So like that you can write, and then again now print the result. Then timetable by the object to fall from. So for printing the result, see how we are printing. Print f, time taken by the object to fall from, time taken by the object to fall from a height of 100 meters is approximately 4.52 seconds. So this is how we can write the print statement properly, so that in whatever way you want to see the output, you can generate that type of output. Now comes input. Input is a function. Now, when you are working with a computer, any program, definitely you have to take input from the user. Every time you are not going to assign values to the variables in your programs. Till now, we were assigning the values. So the variables were occupying memory locations and those values were placed there. But now, if I want to accept the value at runtime, when I execute the program, that time I want to take some values from the user, then go for using input. Input is a function, and the purpose is to read a line of text from the input from the user. Now, syntax you should remember, variable equals to input and prompt. So, name is the variable which we have chosen, equals to input. Input is your keyword. Enter your name is your prompt. When you press enter, then you will find that it will display the prompt, enter your name. And suppose if you have entered Alice, then unless and until you press the enter key, थप्पड़ मारना पड़ता है input देने के बाद. So unless and until you press the enter key, it will not be accepted. It will remain still. So once you press the enter key, then it will say hello. It will print hello. And because we are printing the value stored in name, so we have taken formatted string here, F, and then name will be printed. And because you have inputted a name, Alice, and therefore Alice will be printed. Hello, Alice. Now, by default, what happens when you take input in using input function, in Python, it is treated as a string. So whichever value, even if you are trying to input the numeric value, it will be taken as a string. Then how will you compute them? For computation purpose, you need numeric values in numeric form only. And therefore, if you want to convert the input into a different data type. Now, different data types we will see later on, but there are different data types too. Simply, I will explain you here, integer and float. Simply, integers are used for counting purposes, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Floats are used for measuring, 2.4, 3.4. We cannot count like 1, 1.1, 1.2, never na. So, for counting integer and for measurements, we use float. So, even for counting money, we use float. But nowadays, it is mostly becoming integer. 50 pies, 25 pies, 70 pies, 5 pies, they have gone. So, you need to explicitly convert it. So, how will you convert it? So, int, there are certain keywords attached to them. So, for integer, it is int. So, if you want to take input as integer value, then score. What is this score? Score is a variable, and we want this to be treated as a numeric variable. So that the value which will be stored in score, that will be an integer one. So int and then input, enter the score. So with this, what will happen? Enter the score will be printed as it is, and it will wait for you to enter the value of score. Whatever you will type, and you press the enter key, then it will be accepted. And then after that, you can write print statements like this, whichever you want to print. Your score is score. Like that you can print. Then input function has an optional parameter, which is a prompt string that you have seen. So when input function is called, in order to take the input from the user, then the execution of the program halts. It waits for the user to input the value and through keyboard, and then it is to be ended by return key, which I call as a enter key. So previously we used to call it as an enter key. Now a keyboards it is return key, so you can remember. Then next function is output. Next we have to, when we what for we write a program? We write a program because we want some output, right? Without any aim, we are not going to do anything. What is the purpose of joining this workshop? Because you want some result. You will gain something. So this output is always needed. Now here print function is used to output text variables. It is displayed on the console, that is on our monitor screen only. Sometimes only for displaying messages. So for these kind of purposes, we use print statement and print. Then the object here, it is I love my India. It will be printed as I love my India. Then with remark. So name equals to, if you have assigned a value Alice to name is a variable and Alice is assigned to this, then print name. So Alice will be printed. And if you want to use F formatted string, then you can, if it is a numeric value, then you are 30 years old. So instead of age, 30 will be printed. Then the data types. Now data type is a classification that which type of value a variable is going to hold. Now, how many types data type? Now just think about data, forget about everything. कि इस दुनिया में ऐसा कौन कौन सा डेटा है which we can use in our computer while programming. So लोगों का नाम, जगह का नाम, state's name, country name. So all these names are stored as a alphabetic value. तुमने किसी का नाम रेणु अंडरस्कोर गुप्ता ऐसा वगैरह नहीं सुना होगा ना, और रेणु 1 2 3 नहीं ना. इट इज ऑलवेज एन अल्फाबेटिक वैल्यू. सो अगर अल्फाबेटिक वैल्यू लगती है, फिर एड्रेसेस, स्ट्रीट नंबर सो एंड सो, क्वार्टर नंबर सो एंड सो, फ्लैट नंबर सो एंड सो. तो स्ट्रीट में अल्फा न्यूमरिक, राइट, अल्फाबेटिक्स एंड नंबर्स आर देयर. अब मोबाइल नंबर है, पिन कोड है, दे आर यूज्ड एज न्यूमरिक वैल्यूज. उसमें तो कुछ भी नहीं आता ना, अल्फाबेट्स नहीं आते, कोई दूसरा कैरेक्टर आता नहीं है, ओनली न्यूमरिक. सो दे आर ऑलवेज न्यूमरिक. एंड समटाइम्स हमको चाहिए रहता है यस नो, तो उस समय बूलियन काम में आता है कि ये है या नहीं है. आंसर मी इन यस और नो. मम्मी पापा पूछते होंगे तुम वहां गए थे, लेट क्यों आए, वहां गए थे ना, क्या मूवी देखने गए थे, यस और नो में आंसर होना. तो यू विल हैव टू यूज बूलियन डेटा, यस और नो. नाउ दिस टाइप ऑफ डेटा के लिए हमको डेटा टाइप्स क्यों मैटर कर रहा है? बिकॉज मेमोरी मैनेजमेंट, एफिशिएंट मेमोरी मैनेजमेंट करने के लिए वी नीड डिफरेंट डेटा टाइप बिकॉज दे कंज्यूम डिफरेंट अमाउंट्स ऑफ मेमोरी. इंटीजर को 2 बाइट्स लगता है तो फ्लोट को 4 बाइट्स लगता है. फ्लोटिंग मतलब डेसिमल पॉइंट का नंबर 24.15. दिस इज योर फ्लोटिंग नंबर, फ्लोटिंग पॉइंट नंबर. सो डिफरेंट टाइप्स ऑफ वेरिएबल डेटा ऑक्युपाई डिफरेंट मेमोरी लोकेशंस, so total memory. So even for single letter you need only 1 byte. Multiple letters, as many letters are there in a string constant, as many bytes you will bytes of location you will require to put it into the memory. So that's why this is important, data types. Now how many types of data types are there? So these are basic data types and numeric, string, list, tuple, dictionary, boolean, sets. I will skip sets that we are not going to use. Now there is no need to explicitly declare data type. So ये बड़ा comfortable है Python के साथ. Python ने बहुत relaxation दिया है. And other languages you have to declare whether you are going to int type or float type. So you have to put your extra mind in that. Here you don't need it. So they are determined at the runtime based on the value assigned. So आप जो value उसको देंगे, वो जैसे अपन कहते हैं ना, जैसे बर्तन का शेप होगा वैसे ही पानी उसका शेप ले लेगा. So वही काम है यहाँ पर. Types are determined at runtime based on the value assigned. अगर explicitly ही आपको बोलना है कि no case मेरे को तो ये चाहिए ही ऐसा, मतलब if I want this to be like this only, so in that case you can explicitly make it of that type. Now integers, they can be positive or negative, and no upper bound on the size of integer. Complex number is represented as a plus bj. So just for an example, num1 equals to 2, so this is this will be automatically treated as integer. If you write num2 equals to 2.5, automatically the interpreter or compiler, whichever you are using, will take this num2 as a real type variable and it will store the value as a real number. And x equals to 1 plus 2j, then this will be treated as a complex number. Then string type. String type is nothing but, already आप देख ही चुके हो, whatever we write in double quotes now, it is nothing but a string. So it is a series or a sequence of alphabets, numerals, special characters, क्योंकि इसके अलावा आपके कीबोर्ड पे कुछ और हो तो देख लेना. So whatever is there on the keyboard, if you press any of the keyboard button and just put them in, enclose them in double quotes, then it will be, or single quote, then it will be treated as a string. But in single quote, it will be treated as a single constant, and double quotes means it will take a lengthy one. So first character of the string always has index 0. So when they occupy continuous memory locations one after another, so the first has index 0, then 1, then 2, and this is like it is being treated inside the memory. I will not go in detail of this because I don't think time will permit us to do so. So we will discuss two basic operators which can operate on this string type, data type: concatenation operator, which is denoted by plus, and repetition operator, which is denoted by st. Now this is the program. Yeah, I have used this multiple comments. You can go through it. Now address equals to Hislop College. Address is a variable. This string constant will be assigned to address. Let's try to print address and we will see what does it, what output we get. We will get Hislop College. Then print address plus, concatenate कर रहे हैं. And what you want to concatenate, तुम भूल गए थे लिखना नागपुर सामने. So you put this Nagpur in double quotes. So this string will get attached to this. ये भी कंप्यूटर के लिए अब एड्रेस नहीं है. जब हम एड्रेस लिख रहे हैं ऑलरेडी यू हैव असाइंड अ वैल्यू टू इट, कंप्यूटर तो इसको हिस्लप कॉलेज ही पढ़ेगा. So this is as if you have written Hislop College in double quotes here plus Nagpur in double quotes. I hope you are getting it. So output should be Hislop College, Nagpur. If I put a comma here, comma Nagpur, then it will be printed like comma Nagpur. So please try all these programs at home. Use of asterisk operator. City equals to Agra. Now print city only, Agra will be printed. But if I want to print it double, so print city asterisk 2, so it will repeat same string 2 times. So if it is n, then it will repeat n times. So whatever value of n you want to take, you can. So you can see here Agra, Agra. Now comes list. It is most used data type. They are going to all physicists use this extensively. Your resource persons will also use it to a very great extent. It contains the same or different data types of items. So list you understand one after another. नाम से समझ रहा है, पर ऐसा लग रहा है क्या कि वो सब एक ही डेटा टाइप होगा या it can be a mixture of different data types. So it can be either same or different data types. And basically the definition is the list is an ordered and indexable sequence. How will you declare a list? It can be declared like it should be separated by commas and enclosed in square brackets. So this is the example. We are declaring list here. L1 and L2 are the two variables which we have chosen to store our list. And this is our list. This is your numeric value. Then I told you that in string constant, if single character is there, then it is enclosed in single quote. If multiple characters are there, then they will be enclosed in double quotes. So A, 2, B, 3, and L2 is another list where C is placed. Now let us try to print the list and see how it gets printed. So you have written list 1. List 1 will be printed as it is because it is in double quotes and this colon should also be printed. because this is what you want to do. If you do not put colon here, what will happen? Only list 1 will be there. And with this L1, this whole list will be printed. You can see. And then list 2, and the whole list is being printed here. Now concatenation of list. Let us move further. So we are extending our program. You can do so after executing this much. Then the program will be there only. So just add these statements to it and again re-execute. So for concatenating, just add them. L1 plus L2. Print concatenated list. So this heading will be printed, and because this print is written on second line, so print concatenated underscore list. So this list will be printed like this. 1A, 2B, 3, and this C will be added to it. Then comes tuple. So actually tuple and list, they are both same sequence data type. But then why double? So similar to list, tuple also stores sequence of items. Like a list, a tuple consists of items separated by commas. Then where is the difference? Tuples are enclosed within parentheses rather than within square brackets. So this is the way which you use to write tuples in your program. Fine, but even then, what is the difference? The difference lies here. They are mutable, whereas lists are mutable, whereas tuples are immutable. Immutable का मतलब होता है read only, and when we say read only, that means you can read it, you cannot edit it, you cannot modify it. So once the items are stored, tuple cannot be modified. So I hope you are getting it. But list can be modified. So very simple to write declaration of tuple. Round brackets instead of square bracket. If I put a square bracket here, then T1 will become list, T2 will become list. T1 and T2 are tuple because they are being placed in parentheses. So compiler will automatically get the message and it will not allow anyone to change the contents of this tuple. Now comes dictionary. Again, dictionary is very useful and it will also be used extensively in programming during computational physics. So when we have large amount of data, तो डिक्शनरी से समझ ही रहा होगा कुछ तो बड़ा है, राइट? पहले छोटे थे तो डिक्शनरी की वो हाथ में नहीं आती थी, छूट जाया करती थी. So something big dictionary is, right? So it has two components, keys and values. So key value pair, this is called as item. Okay? So यहाँ पर key क्या है? This is your key. Apple is key और उसकी वैल्यू कितनी है? 50. Banana is key, value is 30. Orange is key, value is 75. So this is how they are being assigned. But it is an unordered collection of a key value pair. कुछ भी ऑर्डर में नहीं रखना है. एप्पल चाहे तो यहाँ रख दो, बनाना उठा के यहाँ रख दो, कोई फर्क नहीं है. आपको लग रहा होगा kept them in alphabetical order, but it is nothing like that. So key and values can be of any type in the dictionary. The items in the dictionary, again, they are separated by commas. So आप ध्यान रखो, list हुआ, tuple हुआ, dictionary हुआ, items तो आपके हमेशा, values तो हमेशा comma से ही separate होगी. अब हम इसको value ना बोल के item क्यों बोल रहे हैं? Because ये value जैसा नहीं रहा. It is different हो गया ना, इसका formatting different हो गया. तो अपने को उसको अलग नाम से बुलाना पड़ता है to differentiate it from the values which we use for list or tuple. So यहाँ इसको item बोला जा रहा है जिसमें हमारी key और value, key value. So one more thing, they should be placed in curly bracket, right? They should be placed in curly bracket. Then what is this inventory? List L1. So L1 क्या था? It was of data type list. Tuple T1. So T1 was data type. T1 was tuple of tuple type. So this is of dictionary type. So dictionary का नाम क्या है? Inventory. So for displaying inventory value, print stock. So this is general print statement. It will be printed as it is, and inventory will be printed like this. So this is how it is being used, and further usage you will learn in programming, computational programming class, computation simulations. Now comes Boolean. In a programming language, mostly the data is stored in the form of alphabetic, alphanumeric, numeric. Sometimes we need to store them in the form of yes and no. We have already discussed. As per the convention of, this is important, as per the convention of programming language, yes is true, no is false. So जब हम programming language में बात करेंगे तो we will not say as कि हम yes or no बोल रहे हैं, but yes will be taken as true value and no will be considered as a false value. So this true and false data is known as Boolean data. And the data type which stores this Boolean data type is known as a Boolean. So it can take only two values because आपको मालूम है Boolean value दो ही हो सकती है, yes or no, true or false. So is holiday true? And आपको declare करने का तो जरूरत ही नहीं है ना. So you don't have to worry about the type. आप लिख रहे हो उससे ही वो समझ जाएगा compiler और interpreter that this is a Boolean type because is holiday equals to true, या आप true लिखोगे या false लिखोगे. So whatever you are writing accordingly आते ही वो समझ जाएगा कि ये आपका Boolean data type है. And then if is holiday, that means if true, holiday है तो print करो hooray, today is a holiday. Now I want you to make changes in above program at home to display, oh no, it's a working day, no holiday. So what will you do for that? Is holiday equals to false. And then if is holiday, that means false है, so print, oh no, it's working day, no holiday. So just try this. It's fun. Now this is a picture, again just for revision. So these are the different data types. Then sequence data types we have seen. And then numeric, integer, float, complex number, and dictionary, Boolean, and set. Now comes operators. Without operators, we cannot live on this earth. कभी हम बोलते हैं हमें कंपेयर करने की बड़ी आदत है, 5 7 से छोटा है या बड़ा है, तो यू नीड टू कंपेयर देम, यू नीड ऑपरेटर. आप ये ऐड करके दीजिए, यू नीड ऑपरेटर. सो फॉर एवरीथिंग वी नीड ऑपरेटर. अरे जस्ट सोच के देखना. So based on the functionality, there are several operators which are available in Python, very huge number, I mean, very efficient. Arithmetic, comparison, assignment, logical, bitwise, membership operator. So we will go through arithmetic, comparison, assignment, and logical, I think. It's very simple because they have stolen from our mathematics, plus, minus, slash भी लिखते थे अपन है ना, instead of that this horizontal line and then two dots upper and lower side. So ये भी लिखते थे, but this is different than remainder of course, and then this is flow division. So this is multiplication and this is exponential. So I need not explain you, just put the operator between two numeric values and you will get the same result that we used to get in our arithmetic. So I don't have to discuss this much. Now this is 5 square. The problem is in many characters in many programming languages they use caret sign, and here they have used double star and asterisk, and then 5% too. Yes, this is modulus operator. We call this as a modulus operator, and this is for finding the remainder. So if it is 10% too, then what will be the remainder? 0. But because this is 5% too, it is 1. So whatever will be the remainder, that will be your output. And the floor division operator, it is to find the quotient and remove the fractional part. So 5 divided by 2, so 2.5. So only 2 is the quotient. So it will automatically remove the decimal part and you will get the 2. So this is how arithmetic operator is used. And the comparison operator. Comparison operator, they are also called as relational operator. Now, because equal to is already been taken for assignment, here is the reason why it is being not used here. Yeah, equal to operator is being used as a double equal to, because जो equal to actual हम लोग use करते हैं mathematics से, it has already been used for our assignment as an assignment operator, right? So therefore, the languages have done double equal to. So if you are writing double equal to, that means this is comparison operator. Comparison operator मतलब equal to, तो मेरे बराबर हो या नहीं हो, कंपेयर कर रहे हो, है ना? लेस देन, इक्वल टू, नॉट इक्वल टू, ये एक्सप्लेनेशन साइन ना नॉट बोलता है, नॉट इक्वल टू. रिजल्ट इसके फॉल्स ट्रू में ही आएंगे. रिलेशनल में ही आपका जो रिजल्ट आता है वो बुलियन होता है. ग्रेटर देन, लेस देन, ग्रेटर देन इक्वल टू, बहुत बच्चे इक्वल टू ग्रेटर देन करते हैं. प्लीज डोंट डू दैट. जब भी आप जैसे बोलते हैं ना, ग्रेटर देन इक्वल टू, लेस देन इक्वल टू, तो जैसे बोलते हो वैसे ही लिखो. तो ग्रेटर देन इक्वल टू वैसे ही टाइप करो. आई मीन, so greater than equal to, then less than equal to. So then comes assignment operator. Yes, now equal to तो मैंने बता दिया. What will it do? So जो लेफ्ट हैंड साइड है वो ऑपरेंड करेगा, और राइट हैंड साइड में भी दूसरा जो वैल्यू रहेगा. So it will, दो ऑपरेंड, ऑपरेटर्स आर ऑलवेज प्लेस बिटवीन टू ऑपरेंड्स. ओके, अरिथमेटिक में भी जो प्लस के आजू बाजू है वो ऑपरेंड ही कहलाता है. सो हियर ऑल्सो ऑपरेंड रहेगा. तो जो ऑपरेंड आप राइट हैंड साइड में रहेगा, दैट विल बी असाइंड टू द ऑपरेंड ऑन लेफ्ट हैंड साइड. नाउ एट राइट साइड, then plus equal to, this is little bit funny, but if you are not comfortable with this, you can write a equals to a plus b. Now don't get confused with this, that how come a equals to a plus b. जब a का वैल्यू मैंने 10 डाला तो a प्लस b कैसे हो सकता है? तो a का वैल्यू अगर आपने 10 असाइन किया है, तो मैंने आपको बताया एट लेटर पार्ट ऑफ द प्रोग्राम यू कैन चेंज द वैल्यू विच इज प्लेस्ड इनसाइड द वेरिएबल. सो कहीं आपने जाके v की वैल्यू ले ली है, सपोज a आपका 10 है, b 5 ले लिया है, देन यू कैन राइट a इक्वल्स टू a प्लस b. तो a की वैल्यू वो 5 थी तो 5 उठा लेगा, b का 10 उठाएगा, एंड 15 द न्यू वैल्यू विल बी असाइन टू a. सो होता क्या है, जो मेमोरी सेल है ना, इट इज लाइक आपका इरेजर लेके इरेज कर दिया इसको और उस पर रीराइट कर दिया. बस उतना ध्यान रखना कि ये फिक्स नहीं हो गया कुछ. जब भी हम नया वैल्यू असाइन कर रहे हैं ना, सो द फर्स्ट वैल्यू विल बी wiped off and the new value will be assigned to that memory location which is you have reserved for a in this case. Fine. So same way, a minus b, a asterisk b, that is a multiplied by b, then a divided by b, everything same. Okay, now precedence of operator. Now precedence में पढ़ने वाली नहीं हूँ, you can see the table, but मैं आपको बता देती हूँ कि when we go, how do computer execute the equation which is called as an expression. हमारे language में computer scientist हमेशा बोलेगा expression is evaluative. So it is always from lower precedence to higher or higher to lower. So it will be from relativity है, तो जो same precedence में है, associativity decides the order in which operators will be executed. So the first, सबसे पहला प्रेफरेंस किसको मिलता है? अगर उस एक्सप्रेशन में कहीं भी नॉट और एंड है तो ये मिलेगा. अगर तीनों ही के तीनों है या उसमें से एक है, तो दो है तो पहले को, जो पहले आ रहा है उसको पहले लेफ्ट से राइट में, फिर सेकंड को. देन मेंबरशिप ऑपरेटर जो हम नहीं पढ़ने जा रहे हैं बिकॉज ऑफ टाइम कंस्टेंट. देन आइडेंटिफाई होता है, बट आपके लिए असाइनमेंट ऑपरेटर फिर मिलेगा उसको चांस. देन इक्वलिटी ऑपरेटर, फिर कंपैरिजन ऑपरेटर. सो इक्वलिटी एंड कंपैरिजन हमने एक ही साथ देखा था, लेकिन देखिए जिस समय हम we are using it is these in expressions, these operators in expressions, तो इक्वलिटी या नॉट इक्वल टू, दिस इज ऑल्सो नॉट इक्वल टू, दिस इज ऑल्सो नॉट इक्वल टू एंड दिस इज इक्वल टू, डोंट गेट कंफ्यूज. सो उस समय में ये पहला प्रेफरेंस इसको देगा एंड देन दिस विल गेट प्रेफरेंस दिस वाइज. This is the way it gets evaluated. And multiplication division comes after addition and subtraction.